They read the theme for today, and I promise you, I told Pastor Cole, my message is about 10 minutes long, and it may be 5 minutes now that half of y'all done preached it. But anyway, the theme for today was the many hats of a woman. But I added a piece to it that says, so wear them well. And our key scripture is coming from Proverbs 31. And of course, they started at verse 10. And I need my helper to give me a glass of water, please. No, tell her to bring me a bottle of water. I'll be ghetto. I'll drink it. We got one up here. I'll drink it out the bottle. I ain't ashamed. I know how to do it without dripping. That's because I did all that howling. That's what that was. But turn to Proverbs 31. And I'm not going to read it because we done read it. But in Proverbs 31, this is a letter that was given to the King Lemuel by his mother. Now, I haven't seen King Lemuel mentioned but one time in scripture.
That's correct.
So I was wondering, was he a real king? Was he a real person? So what I did was I tried to look him up. And guess what I found? There's not much given to him, but in my research, there are theologians or scholars that believe that King Lemuel was really King Solomon. And that the person that wrote the letter to him was actually his mother, Bathsheba. Now, isn't that interesting that Bathsheba, who got a baby by King David illegitimately, will write the son that she got legitimately a letter of what type of wife to look for. Wow. I find that interesting because before she got married to David, she was married to somebody else.
That's right.
And so she is writing, or it is believed that she is writing this letter to tell him the qualities that he needs to find in a woman to be his wife. Wow. Now, as women by nature, and all of y'all that says, I don't think so. When you were little, you thought about your wedding. You wanted to be somebody's wife. And you want to be somebody's mom. It may not happen that way, but this was a desire that you had when you was a little child. So as women by nature, we are prone to be wives and mothers. Understanding that is why God created us. If he didn't want us to be women, mothers, wives, then there would have been no need for him to put Adam to sleep and take us out of Adam. He didn't fashion us from the dirt. He pulled us out of man. The reason why I believe that he did this was because he completed man through us. We have all the capabilities that a man needs to be who he is supposed to be. Whether it's the preacher, whether it's the organist, the drummer, whether it's the laborer on the field, whether he's a doctor, whatever. You have, as women, the ability to complete and push him to where he needs to be. So, biologically, we were made to be mothers. Think about it like this. You carry the child, but the man gives the seed. So look at it like this. You put a seed in the ground, it has to be carried by the dirt. It has to be nurtured. That's what God did for us. He made us the nurturer for the seed that's to come. Not only natural seed, but if you ever notice when a young person, or especially men, when a man feels like the Lord has called him to do a work, he don't go tell another man first. He go tell a mother or woman. You know why? Because that woman is going to nurture that call. That woman is going to feed that call. That woman is going to push him. That woman going to pray for him when that man is sitting up there looking at him like, what he call himself doing? That woman is sitting over in the corner, Lord, touch him. Lord, use him. Lord, send your deliverance. Lord, clean him up. See, that's what, as women, we're nurturers. This is what God has called us to do. Some of us are natural mothers. We've had children. But some of us, God has not blessed our womb, but he blessed our fruit. I say that because he's called us to be godmothers. Some of us are surrogate mothers. Some of us are sister mothers. Y'all know what a sister mother is? A sister mama is that sister of yours that she's your biological sister, but she act like she your mama. That's your sister mama. I'm an aunt mama. That is, I'm the mama of my brother's children. So when they get in trouble, they don't call they mama, they call me. I'm the mama, the aunt mama. So some of us are aunt mothers. And in all these cases, we wear different hats. And you gotta be okay with the hats that you wear. You cannot be trying to take the mama hat off and put the sister hat on because you want to hang out with your children. No. Women.
Will your spirit still say yes? There is more that I require of thee.
Daughters, we go to dinner and whatever. But if he say he going with his boys or his crew, I ain't going. Because first of all, and I ain't going with Kalisha crew for real. And Crystal, I don't even think she got a crew because she just always at home. But first of all, I can't hang with them. I'm too old. They be talking about stuff and I be like, what? What that mean? We have to wear the hat that God has given us to wear at any given time, and we got to be okay with it. So when we look at the Proverbs 31 woman, you see this woman wears about 31 hats. Proverbs 31 hats. Isn't that interesting? Something to think about. When you read the scripture and you see the description that this woman has, this is what any mother would want for her son. I don't want my son man no harlot.
Amen. You right? Straight up. Amen.
I don't want my daughter man no. And no again. And I got one. I'm gonna put this out. I got one said she don't want me to meet her boyfriends because I run them away. Kendall was like, you run my girlfriends away. No, I have some godly morals. You got to stand on godly principles. If you standing on the morals of your predecessors, then you in trouble. If you standing on your morals that you think are right, you in trouble. Because sometimes our for a way that's seeming right to us, but guess what? It ain't right. And in the end, there's destruction. So she has to, this Proverbs 31 woman has to have morals and ethical principles. Her conduct has to be upright, and she has to stand on truth. And because of this, she's more valuable than rubies. Now think about this, because I looked up what a ruby was. A ruby is known as a stone of nobility. It's considered the most magnificent of all the gems. It's called the Queen of Stones. And in time past, it was believed to have surpassed the cost of all the precious stones in virtue. That means in truth. It was genuine. It wasn't fake. It wasn't cut. When you got you a real ruby, you knew it was real by the color of it. It wasn't tainted. Rubies are blood red. That means they come pure. They're pure. They're not tainted. You get a ruby and it's got a little pink in it, that ain't it. So when we walk around women with a little pink in us and we ain't true, you got to get it right. Because we're trying to be that Proverbs 31 woman. And it says that back in the day, back in biblical days, a ruby was valued more higher than diamonds. Think about that. More valuable than a diamond? You know, when you hold a diamond up and you twirl it, you see all kinds of color in it. It's valuable. But a ruby is more valuable than diamond. So as the Proverbs 31 women, those characteristics that she carried are what we call, or what we're calling today, hats. And each of those hats that she wore required something different from her at different times. So what we have to do is realize that the hats that you wear as mothers, as even in-laws, mother-in-laws, or mother-in-laws as they call them now, as mothers, as in-laws, as mother-in-laws, as sisters, as mentors, as Pastor Co-leader, and everybody has named all the roles that we wear. Each one of those roles requires a piece of you at any given time. And what happens is you have to be okay to switch the hat. Sometimes you got to put the mother hat on and the baseball hat on at the same time, because you got to be out there hitting the ball with them. Sometimes you got to I had a key ring and it was called Mom Taxi, because I had to take them everywhere. So I was the chauffeur, the driver, feed them in the car, you know, trying to get them where they needed to go, because trying to develop them to be what God had wanted them to be. So with that, some of us are friends. That's another hat. Some of us are daughters. That's another hat. Some of us are mentors. That's another hat. And for all of you out there that want to be pastors' wives, that's showing up another hat. And as Sister Cole said, think about it, think about it, think about it. Because you got to sit back and watch your husband go through with them people. And you can't say nothing. You got to sit there and watch them women eye your husband and can't say nothing. Look at him like he's a piece of chocolate candy and they about to ready to. And you can't say nothing. You can't even walk up to him and say, hey baby. You can't even do that. But guess what? It's a hat that you have to wear if you want to be a pastor's wife. Some of you all are students. Some of you all are coaches. Some of you all are homemakers. But after seeing and think about all of the hats that we wear, we actually wear them very well. And the reason why we wear them very well, because the Proverbs 31 woman is already in me. It ain't something that I have to how do I want to say it? Make up.
Right.
I don't have to put her on. She's already in me. I just got to let her come out. And I can't be afraid to let her come out. I have to be willingly able to let her come out. Proverbs 3:6 says this. It says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not to thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. As a Proverbs 31 woman, she had to acknowledge God and then allow him to direct her path. In the Message Bible, it reads like this. Trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure everything out on your own. Women, stop trying to make it work. Trust God. It says, listen for God's voice in everything you do. Listen for his voice. He'll speak. You just got to listen. It says, not only for everything you do, but even when you go, where you go. He's the one who will keep you on track. Don't assume you know it all, because we don't. This lets me know that if I acknowledge him, if I trust him, if I listen, if I go where he tells me to go, if I do what he tells me to do, this lets me know he'll take me to the right store to get the money, the value for my money, and I won't be wasting my money. This lets me know he'll show me what groceries to buy. He'll teach me how to stretch the groceries. This tells me not only that, but he will enable me to do all that he has put at my hands to do, because before I go to do anything, I acknowledge him first.
That's good.
When Kendall was in high school, Kendall is an all-around athlete. Anybody know him? Know he's an all-around athlete. Kendall can play. I think he can play golf if he wanted to. He's just an all-around athlete. But when he was sophomore, I think he was a sophomore, he wanted to play football. And I'm like, freshman, thank you, son. He wanted to play football. Well, I didn't want him to play football. I was like, nope, can't do it. Not finna hit my son and break his bones. He little. He's skinny. You ain't finna break his bones. If I had to listen to the Lord who was uncturing me to let him do this, then I wouldn't have had to wait 2 years later to find out that his best sport was football. I wanted him to be a pro basketball player because he could leap. He had height, he could jump high. But I found out 2 years later that he was a great football player, and probably, if he had studied, could have been a pro person. But he's who he is anyway, and I love him anyway. But God will teach us, even concerning our children, what to allow them to get into and what not to allow them to get into. It doesn't matter that they want to do it. It may not be good for them. And as the mother, your job is to go to God and say, you know what, they want to do this. God, is this for them? Is this going to help them? What's the plan for this? And watch God direct you. It says that women, you are so special to God that he fashioned you to be what all mankind needs. Think about that. You fashioned by God to be everything that mankind